Welcome to This Week in Venice, Florida. With 2024 coming to a close, we are going to be covering all of the housing updates and predictions going into 2025.
And if we haven't met before, I'm Caleb, and this is Lanir from the Sharktooth Realty team here in Venice, Florida. And we help buyers find that dream home, whether it's new construction or resale, and we get them in at a great deal.
And that's right, we help sellers tell the story of their existing home and move on to the next chapter. And today we're going to be covering all of our predictions, where the housing market sits currently, and where we're headed to in the near future.
All right, let's jump right into it.
So as 2024 is coming to a close, I have to say so long, farewell, Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Hallelujah.
You know, we're happy to put that to rest. It was an interesting year, ups and downs, highs and lows. Consumer confidence was stretched in many different ways, many factors and anomalies at play.
Yeah, we noticed that, the beginning of the year, it started off pretty hot. We were still riding that post-COVID wave of people coming down here where, they made it through COVID and then they decided, I'm done with where I live. I want to get down to Florida. So we still had that ride. But now things, started to slow up a little bit.
Yeah, well, we experienced what we're calling the Great Reset. We had a huge influx of migration here during that COVID era, where people either realized after that, after that initial romantic, the honeymoon phase, that this wasn't for them, or many people got in here and they built a significant amount of equity, unexpected record-breaking equity, and they've moved on to the next chapter in their lives. And this really left us many voids, but also many opportunities. The ebb and flow, we know it's sentiment moves money, and public sentiment, public confidence has been down, all-time low, all-time decade low. Inflation, food costs, all of the things that we all scream at the mountaintops on a daily basis. But we have some really good news going forward.
Yeah, we truly expect that 2025 is going to be great. And we know that because we're already starting to get phone calls. As soon as the election was over, our phones started ringing, the emails started coming in. People are finished. They know what their future is going to be like for the next 3 to 4 years, and they're ready to pull the trigger. They can't sit on the sidelines anymore up north and deal with cold winters. They want to get down here and live in the sun.
You look at a housing market, when you look at these type of investments, and that's what they are, they're investments. They're not gambles. They're not an overnight turn of success. These are, when in doubt, you zoom out and you look at the housing market in 4 and 5 year cycles, often in 10-year cycles, to get a really good read. And what we're seeing is healthy growth. We're in a very unique pocket. We're here in Southwest Florida, in the Venice area, and we've watched developments take heed for the last 30 years, all the way up in Lakewood Ranch with that master plan development. It was an area where for many people, they thought that it was too far. It was on the outskirts. Why would anyone live there? But what we're seeing here is that people during that Great Reset have realized that what they want from life, they want to live in a beautiful, warm state, 300 plus days of sunshine, and we're seeing these developments answer that call.
Absolutely, and that influx of people from the Lakewood Ranch into the Venice area, many people, like Lanir said, moved to that Lakewood Ranch area, and it was the spot. It's the number 1 master plan community in all the country, but they're realizing that they want to get maybe a little bit closer to the beach, because Lakewood Ranch is separated from the beach by Sarasota, so you've got it's a bit of a hike, 45 minutes to get to the beach, and that's on a good day. In the snowbird season, when a lot of people are here, it could be an hour and 15 minutes.
Now, Caleb he just mentioned snowbirds, and snowbirds is that rare anomaly of what makes our housing market very unique and constantly healthy. We don't just rely on that cyclical school year of families migrating or trying to settle in before the school year. We have that phenomenon of snowbird season where people come in, they live their best lives. Many of our clients are buying their second home. Many of our clients are very savvy and prudent investors. And if you're an investor, you know that the day after that election, you're in the green. It's been a long time. There's been blood in the streets. We're finally in the green, and green means go. And if you're going to ask yourself, when is the right time to buy a house? The right time is when you're ready. It's an ebb and flow. But right now, what we're seeing for 2024, we saw was great opportunities. There's still some really good opportunities, and we see a lot of writing on the wall. There are many new developments coming to this area.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the new construction and Welland Park specifically. We cover that all the time. You can see all of our videos. We'll run them probably right here. But we really love Welland Park because we see the upside of it being the master plan community that's following the footprint and the blueprint of Lakewood
Ranch, but more boutique-esque.
Exactly, with the beach being only 15 minutes away. It's such a unique proposition to get in there. You have all of the benefits of a master plan community with downtown districts, retail everywhere, and it's only going to get better as they continue to grow through 2025.
Big difference in new construction. Now, we're very new construction heavy. We understand that this is not across the board in every state. Some states are really beholden to that resale market. We'll talk about that resale market here and what opportunities and where the health lies for that particular market. But we're really focusing on the writing on the wall. We see a lot of developers who've come to the Venice area, some developers for the first time, and we're seeing new construction with the inception of Palmera in Welland Park. That's a 1,200 home mixed-use development. There's several builders in there, some that have never been in this market. You have ICI Homes with custom builds.
David Weekly. Homes by Town.
MI Homes. You have Neal Communities, and then you have Madame E Homes building those coach homes. And what we're seeing, and we're seeing this more often than not, is developers are getting together. They're footing the bill. They're parsing up these developments, and they're making it a mixed use. Something that there's price points in a particular model for every type of buyer. Whether you're a family, whether you're a retiree, or you're just starting out, there's something truly for everyone.
Yeah, no longer are the days that one builder comes in and builds a 1,200 community or a home community. That often took, if we look at, let's say, Island Walk, for example. That was DeVosta that went in there, started that neighborhood. It took them over 12, almost 14 years to finish a neighborhood of 2,400 homes. So they've decided to evolve. And in Welland Park, that's what they're doing. They're building smaller neighborhoods, and the ones that are big, they're bringing in multiple builders so that they can appeal to a larger group of people, as opposed to we sell $500,000 to $600,000 houses. That's only a small niche of the market. But if you put in houses that start in the 400s and go all the way up to, let's say $1.1 million with some of the custom homes in Palmera, it really gives a wide variety of homes for people to choose from, and it also adds a lot of character to the neighborhood because it's not a tract home neighborhood where everything looks alike. There's different builders, different exteriors. That really makes for I think a better neighborhood.
Now, what's really indicative is, number one, just a little bit of the geography here. The Venice area, the Wellen Park area. Welland Park stemmed over Northport, Venice, and soon to be Englewood, respectively. It's a very small footprint when you compare it to other towns. There aren't master plan developments of this scale so close to the beach, so you have to make some sort of compromise, and that's what we're seeing born in this area. It used to be very resale heavy, but we are having a large influx of new construction, and there's not a lot of land available west of 75. So we're seeing builders like DeVosta building small offshoots like Stillwater.
Pulte.
Excuse me.
Division.
They're building 96 villas, I think about another 100 homes. There's going to be all these offshoots from Venice all the way up to Sarasota. And what we're seeing are the suburbs. In Lakewood Ranch, those suburbs are stemming east. They're heading east. Here, they're heading south. But somewhere down that road, they're all connecting. And now they're making it more viable, more connectivity, more access, more convenience, which means there's more commercial centers being built. Schools are being built. We have Welland Park being built. Their high school.
Huge new school.
Slated to be completed 2026. We see a lot of indicators for healthy growth here. Now, we have some new developers coming in. We mentioned that some of these developments are being parsed out, but we're seeing a myriad of price points. Like we said, from those $400,000, $500,000 coach homes, all the way up to sky's the limit with custom homes. We've got new developments like a 60 site enclave from John Cannon, building in that Venice Englewood corridor. Now, Englewood, Northport used to be an offshoot, used to be considered undesirable, but with the birth of this master plan, it's really masked that and really has created a new perception of value.
Yeah, it's just that the whole Welland Park area is really raising the value of the whole area. You know, it's raising the value of Northport because it's technically located in Northport, and then Inglewood, the same thing. We're seeing homes down there, resales, the property values are just going up because they realize that it's a natural expansion of the Venice area, has to go somewhere, and since we can't go east, we have to go south or north, which ultimately, I think Lanir touched on that a bit. We think that 10 years from now, Lakewood Ranch and the Venice area, it's going to be one big metropolis.
Absolutely. No different than any metropolitan hub. The dots are connecting, and we certainly see it. There's a lot of viability. Now, we have other developments coming into the area, into that Welland Park corridor. We have a new build that's coming in, 800 plus homes with Taylor Morrison.
But Esplanade, yeah, that's supposed to be really exciting. They are amenities heavy and very family friendly. Their whole goal is to make it a big, fun family environment so that they can attract that younger crowd to come down here.
Well, Esplanade, what they're doing is they're filling a void, because if you look at the whole housing market, specifically in the Southwest region, we're very new construction heavy. But when you break it down, when you start to put all of those specific boxes that you're trying to check, people often move out here for that lifestyle. That's the subjective matter that really dictates value. We have anchor points of value we talk about all the time that really help sustain the value. Places like the beach, places like downtown Sarasota, historic downtown Venice.
Venice Island, yeah.
You know, anchor points that are always creating a destination, always creating a perception of value. But what we've noticed is once you get down here and you look at all the new constructions, when you check off those boxes, you start to see that you have a very specific mold that you're trying to fit. And it's not a ubiquitous one size fits all. So you start to realize that your specific home, there aren't a lot of options, because these builders are not just rolling out thousands of homes at one shot. They're doing it in phases. They're
maybe 5 to 10 at a time that you can get as quick move-ins. Some of them inventory's built up a little bit, but they're getting rid of that inventory quick with this post-hurricane bounce that we've had this year.
Yeah, what happens with these builders is an ebb and flow. They are subject and beholden, just like anyone else. They have to answer the bank. They have to answer those draws, and they have to make sure that they're meeting their quota. So when they have a point when they've reached a certain influx of inventory, they've got to move it. They've got to get off the books. They've got to satisfy that finance. And so what they do is they'll create incentives. Now, these incentives confuse people, because people who've bought in the precipice, they bought at top dollar. Now they see someone getting upwards of $100,000 in incentives. The beautiful thing about that is, remember, the homes that are left over oftentimes are the ones that people either overlooked, were undesirable, or just weren't available at the time. There's an opportunity to get in, to get those incentives, but remember, it all balances. That builder is going to slowly increase those prices as that ebb and flow continues, as that demand continues. And what we're seeing in this area is there's significant demand. There are people who are migrating just to have their children go to the school system here. Yep. There are people who are retiring from the East Coast who've just had enough of the hustle and bustle, and they want to live that beautiful life next to the Gulf of Mexico.
They've had enough of the snow, the leaves, the cold, the being inside for 6 months a year and just having to hide and hunker down. You don't have to do that here. Not even in the summer. It gets hot, but in the morning it's nice, and in the evening it's even better.
Now, we just came from a meeting. We have a lot of these builders who are doubling down, and they're not only building in current neighborhoods, they're going to be expanding into newer neighborhoods. We see this demand. Now, in between all of this new construction, we have a huge resale market. And the resale market, I would say, is in a very unique juxtaposition right now, where you have, remember, the lay of the land, this was a retirement community initially, but with the birth of remote working, with COVID, we had a mass migration of families come down, and that has really changed the landscape. But it creates a unique juxtaposition for the people who've already lived here. A lot of the people who've bought in early were people who were retirees, were snowbirds. They bought in when prices were extremely affordable, and they're sitting on record-breaking equity. So there's a lot of people retiring at home, and there's a lot of resales going on in the market here, whether it's someone who's bought in a decade ago or more and sitting a tremendous amount of equity, or someone who bought right before that COVID and they're reaping the benefits. So when you go to the resale market and you try to create a valuation, prices are all over the place.
Yeah, it can be challenging, and Lanir touched on it. It really depends on that seller's exit strategy. Let's say they bought 10 years ago, where they bought that $500,000 house for $200,000. They're sitting on a ton of equity, so the price that they can sell their house is much more realistic than somebody who bought in 3 years ago, let's say, at the peak when they paid peak price. But now, for whatever situation, life's changed, they need to sell that home. Now they are so much deeper into that home. They have the very little equity. So that's why you're seeing homes that are often, kind of maybe, let's just say, overpriced. So the resale market's just been a challenging one this year, but with interest rates coming down, with builders getting, they're going to start having low inventory, the resale market is really going to start appealing to, that person who wants to live in a neighborhood that's established. They don't want to live through a construction site. They don't want to live through all the nails that they're going to get in their tires over the years because of, it's an active construction site in many of these neighborhoods. It's for that person. The resale is for that person who wants an established neighborhood with mature trees, mature plants, that maybe that homeowner's reinvested in that house. It's a 30-year home that they put on that new roof. They've put on that new air conditioner, the hot water heater. So many of those resales that are older homes have actually been updated and are very current with great new hurricane windows. So really, I think that in 2025, we're going to see kind of an explosion of all markets, whether it's resale, new construction. Everybody's just tired of sitting on the sidelines and they want to get down here, sink their feet into that sand and enjoy those nice warm sun rays.
That's right, Caleb. You hit the nail right on the head. It's hard to replicate a mature neighborhood. All of that beautiful flora and fauna. It's an exemplary of old Florida, what people imagine when they come in and do the escapism here in Southwest Florida. But there's a beautiful neighborhood that comes to mind with all those mature trees. Thinking about Boca Royale Golf and Country Club. It is part of the Welland Park master plan, but it doesn't currently connect. But just to show you another indication of why 2025 is promising, they've got something interesting going on there.
Yeah, they're building a sister neighborhood to Boca Royale called Boca East. That may not be the final name they go with. We've heard some rumors that they're going to be changing to something else. But the unique proposition about this one is you're going to have a road that goes from Boca Royale, which is currently not connected to Welland Park. There's going to be a road that actually connects to Welland Park, and that's where Boca East will be. So it creates that really unique proposition. Currently, you can't get directly to the beach from Welland Park. That's a big selling point. They marketed for years that it was going to cut through via Minnesota Beach. We now know that that's never going to happen. So Boca Royale has that unique opportunity that people who live in Boca Royale will have a way to get into Welland Park. And likewise, people who live in that Boca East neighborhood will be able to cut through Boca Royale to get to those beaches in maybe 10 minutes maybe from Welland Park. Currently, it's about 20 minutes away, 15 to 25, depending on the year. But that's going to make it for those residents of Boca East a really unique proposition, unique to all of Welland Park. None of their neighbors will be able to get into it. Just those people in Boca East will be able to go through Boca Royale to get to the beach.
And just to show you another indication that it's a sign of the times that we're heading into a promising future, Boca Royale is 30 plus years in the making. Mm-hmm. It's when people came out here and it completely escaped and there wasn't much else around. It was a very rural area at the time, but now they're going through a whole facelift. They're actually even recreating a new, one of those long runway entrances that you become expectant to when you live in a gated community. And you got to remember that this area, Southwest Florida, was very heavy retiree. This was certainly a place where 55 and over came to retire. And with the influx of remote work, COVID, there's been a mass migration of families. The demand of what amenities are has significantly changed.
It's evolving.
The initial neighborhoods, the onset of the Playmore District in Welland Park was an expansion of West Villages. And what people expected back then for amenities was pretty simple. A swimming pool, possibly a tennis court, because tennis was the staple out here. But Bocce ball still exists, still part of old Florida. I hope that they maintain some of it, but those tennis courts were quickly replaced with pickleball courts, and pickleball courts have changed the whole landscape. I say that they are the pulse of this market. You see 75-year-olds living their best lives now. It wasn't the case. I think when COVID happened, when everyone got locked down and put things into perspective, you started to ask yourself, am I living my truly best life? And I think for a lot of us, we realize that there's much more to accomplish. The simple things in life, like enjoying yourself, enjoying health, enjoying the sun, nature. Here you get to do all of that. You get to live the epitome of life in paradise. And what happened with that is that changed the landscape. Now the expectation when you move into one of these neighborhoods is a one-stop shop destination. Amenities have now typically amenities, you go into a golf community, that's where you'll see a very rich amenities, where you have restaurants and all the social fabric that really keep people into that social club. Now amenities in regular neighborhoods like Palmera, for instance, you have lap lane pools, lagoon style pools, pickleball courts, basketball courts, golf simulators, restaurants. It's an expectation that when you're living here, you're living that full resort lifestyle. And that's what Esplanade with Taylor Morrison is going to be bringing to the area. That's the expectation here, and we don't see that slowing down anytime soon. Now, we focus really heavily on the Venice area, the Welland Park area. We touched on that Lakewood Ranch corridor. We're going to be covering that expansion of Lakewood Ranch out east, that North River Ranch, that Waterside district, which we're always there, which we think lends tremendous solutions. Another conglomeration of great price points, from that opening price point up to those John Cannon custom builds over at Kingfisher Lake or Monarch. But we love that. We love all the solutions. We see new development connecting, and we're going to be coming out with weekly videos talking about all the latest developments. If you want to learn, you want to be the first to be notified, what do they have to do?
You got to give us a call, send us a text, or shoot us an email, because we need to hear from you. We want to, a lot of people, they wonder, when's the right time to talk to us? When should they call us in their journey? Because we understand moving to Florida, retirement home, or relocating your family, that takes time. But the time to call us is now. When you're in research mode, this gives us the opportunity to get you all of the best information. The builders, you can go and see, all on their websites, but they have those confusing things like starting from. If you call us, you're not going to hear the starting from. We're going to tell you the price that home's going to be, the final price that includes the lots, the standard amenities that somebody might put into their home, or the additions, those upgrades. And then we're going to tell you, exactly what it's going to cost you. Lanir and I are very straightforward people. We do not act like salesmen. We are not salesmen. We are real estate professionals, and we understand your journey. We went through the exact same thing ourselves.
Yeah, we don't take this buyer's, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We don't take this buyer's journey lightly. 4 years ago, we both sold our businesses respectively, packed up our bags, and moved our families down here to live the life in paradise. And I can tell you, we have zero regrets. It is truly paradise, and we want to be able to do the same for you. We've perfected the process. We understand the ins and outs. We understand the exit and entry strategies. We want to make sure that your investment is sound, that your life is whole, and that you're living your best life, and you become a part of the fabric of this community.
And also, if you're enjoying our videos, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to us so you can be the first one that gets our videos when we come out with them. We do it every single week. We send out a new video so that we can keep educating you and get you to learn everything there is, so that when the time's right for you, you can come down here and we can help you pull that trigger and get a great deal.
Now, the future is very promising. We have, like we said, offshoot developments like Stillwater by Devosta, Pulte. I knew you were going to say that. We have developers understanding that there is a need. People who are understanding that this is a destination. This is a mass migration. There are schools being built. Welland Park is building that new school slated to be open 2026. That is an indication that families are desiring to move here. This is becoming a desirable suburb. School systems are second to none. Our school system is #1 in all of Florida. And I can tell you that those statistics are going to continue to rise and rival any state in all of the country. This is paradise. This is truly paradise. Don't let any of the news, don't let any of the sensationalism deter you.
Ignore the gloom and doom. It's just simply not happening.
Come down here, feel it for yourself, learn firsthand why we absolutely love Venice, Florida, and the surrounding area. So we've covered quite a bit. We've covered Taylor Morrison coming with Esplanade, Boca Royale expanding to Boca East.
Palmera.
Both of those are going to be 800 plus. We have Palmera with the 1,200 plus homes.
With 6 great builders in there, and with all great price points, all the way starting out in the mid 4s up to, I think you could probably get a custom home there for 1.4, 1.5 if you went really crazy. So there's options abound for sure.
And we are in all the meetings for all the developers, and we understand there are many more phases coming. A lot of these newer developers who have just migrated to the area have already doubled down, and they're building expansions. We have John Cannon building a beautiful 60-home enclave with custom homes. The sky is the limit. We have every solution. We have homes for everyone. That resale market's also a great opportunity. Remember, it comes down to the psychology of the individual seller, but there are no people better suited to figure that psychology out than Caleb and myself. And I tell you right now, my partner here, there's no one better to negotiate a deal on your behalf.
I love it.
He loves it. He takes pride in making sure that he's saving you money. We both care about your process. We care about your pocket. We care about your family, and we care about your journey.
And we don't rush the process along. Lanir and I are not not pressure salesmen.
Slow and steady.
It is about your story, your timing, and what is right for you. We listen to you, and then we cater everything to exactly what we need, what you need, and what's important to you. Not what's important to us, it's what's important to you.
Now, we're not going to say that 2019, 2020 is going to happen again. That was a very unique phenomenon, but we have some significant growth happening on the horizon. So if you feel like you're one of those people who missed out on those early beach walk, those early island walk days, there are new neighborhoods with incredible opportunities for you to build equity, to take advantage of that next wave, that next influx. But the world is not crashing. We're not falling off an edge. We're here flourishing. We're growing. The developers are down here building, and all we're waiting for you is to come down here and plug and play.
So I think that's it. We've covered everything. We think that 2025 is going to be something special. There's going to be opportunity, good deals, and growth. So if the time's right for you, make sure you give us that call, shoot us a text, send us an email so that we can get started on your journey to paradise, where we live every single day and go outside and see sunny days right now. What's it like at your house? Today, it's 78 and sunny here.
Yeah, and we're probably going to have to wrap this up early. Go grab coffee by the beach.
I want to go head to the beach because it's daggone such a nice day here in late November. I'm ready.
Or maybe downtown Welland for a nice meal, or maybe we'll hop up to Sarasota and live some of that city life. The beauty is you have everything at your doorstep, and we're ready to build yours here. So just give us that call, shoot us a text, set up that virtual Zoom meeting so we can connect all the dots, plug and play when you get down here. We're super excited to hear from you. 2025 is going to be a huge hit.
Absolutely.
Don't miss out.
And if you're sitting inside right now thinking it's getting cold and you're wondering, I got to get out of here, the time is now. We're here and we're ready to help.
So I think we've covered it all. So until next time, folks.
All right, I'm Caleb and this is Lanir, and we'll see you next week.